Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Shauna Kalafi. We are following some developing news out of Mexico. Today, the Mexican army says they killed a powerful cartel leader during an operation meant to capture him. The Defense Department says the leader of the Jalisco New Generation cartel was wounded during that operation about 2 hours from Guadalajara, and he later died while he was being flown to Mexico City. And this is a very powerful cartel there in Mexico. The leader now killed by the Mexican army, according to the Defense Department there. For more on this story, let's bring in Chris Dalby. He is an investigative journalist and author of CJNG, a guide to Mexico's deadliest cartel. Thank you so much for being here, Chris.
It's an absolute pleasure, Shauna. Thank you for having me.
So you actually wrote a book about this particular cartel, the CJNG. The Associated Press calls it the most powerful cartel in Mexico. The U.S. Deputy Secretary of State described the leader as one of the most ruthless drug kingpins in the world. Can you tell us more about this?
Absolutely.
Ruthless.
If you've heard about the worst of Mexican cartel violence, you know, the most abhorrent acts, the bodies, the decapitated corpses, the videos, a lot of that begins with the CJNG. Elmencho is one of the most influential drug kingpins in the last 30 years. I would put him at the same level as Pablo Escobar.
So what I'm getting from this is they didn't try to actually kill him, is what I'm thinking. Like, they didn't try to. So it was an accident, and they probably knew that it would be heavy retaliation once they did. Once they figured it out, they like, oh my God, bro, this ain't gonna be good. So it ain't good. What's going on right now is not good. So this is my first time. I keep seeing it on my timeline, but I wanted to react to it. So we finna check it out, man. This is a crazy situation right here, right now.
El Chapo, when it comes to the quantity of drugs that his organization has moved in Mexico, in the United States, and further abroad. He is directly and indirectly responsible for the deaths of thousands of people in Mexico and through drugs in the United States. The problem is that while he absolutely deserved to face justice, removing him removes the man who kept the CJNG united. And while the CJNG is extremely violent, by far the most violent cartel in Mexico, removing him will likely lead to 5 or 6 of his lieutenants turning on each other and ramping up the level of violence to perhaps record levels in Mexico to control the CJNG empire.
That's true. That makes sense.
And that's exactly what I was going to ask you. Now that he's dead, what does that mean for this operation? Who takes the lead? And will there be maybe more retaliation from the cartel now that this has happened?
You know, President Trump has rightly designated Mexican cartels as terrorist organizations. And Elmencho had a bounty on his head of $50 million for anyone giving information that led to his capture. As I said, Elmencho needed to face justice. But the kingpin strategy, as we call it, which is where you focus on removing the kingpin, the head of the cartel, and that's your sole focus, has a major problem. Because the kingpins are often the ones controlling an organization.
Yeah,
when they are removed,
that makes
we've
sense.
seen it with Escobar, we've seen it with El Chapo, and we're going to see it with Elmencho. That unifying force, that cult of personality goes away. There are 5 or 6.
That makes sense, though, because it's like he's saying that they are extremely violent, but it gets worse when you don't have a leader, because everybody, since the leader is gone now, you know, all his lieutenants up under him, they trying to fight to be the leader. So therefore it's going to be, you know, it's going to be deaths. It's going to be, you know, fighting, beefs going on internally between the organization to try to capture the most money and get that leadership role. So it's definitely going to be dangerous and violent. And it's crazy because spring break is coming up right now. And it's like, I guarantee y'all skipping Cancun this time. Y'all skipping it this time. And, you know, I know a lot of people that love to go vacation in Mexico. I've actually been to Mexico before. But that was just on some vacation type stuff, some quick vacation cruise type of stuff. But, hey, man, I'm going the other way. You feel me?
leaders of the CJNG, which I identify in my book, who all have significant manpower, drug trafficking potential, contacts in the US, money laundering options, and incredible finances and weaponry that they will absolutely use if they think that they can claim a piece, if not all, of the CJNG. To my knowledge, elmencho didn't pick a successor. To my knowledge, elmencho didn't go to his lieutenants and say, when I die or when I'm arrested, this is the next guy.
Yeah.
He may have done,
Okay.
but we certainly have no information as to that. So right now, what we're seeing in Mexico, the immediate response is what we call the narco blockades or the narco bloqueos. This happens a lot when these top guys are removed. And the cartel wants to make a big show of, burning cars and blocking highways and blocking access to the airport. That often goes away within a few days,
Yeah.
especially because the area in which they're being violent, Guadalajara, one of the biggest cities in Mexico, Puerto Vallarta, a place that millions of Americans go to on holiday, is where the government is absolutely going to want to show we're not letting the cartel dominate this for long.
Okay.
After that, across Mexico, there are so many criminal economies that the CJNG was involved with. We're talking about tens of billions of dollars in criminal earnings that are now up for grabs.
Yeah.
And right now we're showing some video of what you just mentioned, those cars set on fire, the killing of this powerful drug lord, setting off hours of roadblocks with those burning vehicles, both in Jalisco and other states. Can you talk a little bit more about this tactic that is commonly used by the cartels to block these military operations? How big of a scale is this? We also want to show a little bit of those images of the smoke that
they're not showing the right images, but I saw something where they was stopping Americans from they was taking over the airports, stopping Americans from getting out. I saw a video of a guy, and he was I saw a video of a guy. He was stuck. He was stuck in Mexico. And he was like, man, I'm stuck, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just lay low. Lay low, dog.
From these multiple car fires today, what do you take from this reaction from the cartel, and what more can we expect?
So information coming to me in the last hour has suggested that there's been some movement there. Yes, in the hours immediately after elmencho died, gunmen took to the streets, imposed a curfew on much of Guadalajara and Puerto Vallarta. Again, these are cities in Jalisco. This is their home turf. This is where we can expect a stronger reaction. But there were videos of gunmen at the airport. That appears to have been substantiated, but that situation appears to have been resolved. Police and army were able to retake control of Guadalajara airport. We don't have information about casualties yet, but the gunmen never reached the tarmac. We're seeing videos shared online of burning planes or the whole city on fire. Those are seem to be fake news. In Puerto Vallarta, the cruise port appears to have had a fire set there, preventing access. But again, those situations could probably be resolved in the next few hours to days, with perhaps some casualties, but a limited number. The problem is that Guadalajara is going to be a World Cup city in 5 months. Puerto Vallarta is one of the biggest tourism destinations in Mexico and a constant place that Americans visit. That sort of reputational damage takes months or years to recover from. So what the CJNG has done here is, in an outburst of violence that might be controlled, create long-lasting economic ramifications for Mexico and the United States. I don't expect the violence in the medium to long term to be in the cities. I expect it to be in rural Mexico, in small town Mexico, where the drugs are going through, where the fentanyl is being manufactured, where the migrants are being smuggled, where the oil is being stolen. Because those are the areas where there are no tourists, there are few cameras, and the violence can happen almost with impunity. And that is a problem that Mexico is going to have to figure out. Yeah. And I don't know to what extent the US government is going to be interested in helping them, because the US was very focused on elmencho. What happens next is open for debate.
Yeah, that's crazy though, because I would look at it as, they losing money, they finna lose, as far as the tourism. I can't see any Americans with proper sanity going to Mexico right now. I just don't understand how it's not the wisest thing that you should do. And that's nothing against Mexico, but You know, ain't nobody trying to deal with all that, man. Like, y'all got a lot going on over there, and I wish them the best. I hate that, you know, civilians are being hurt, and you know, civilians and citizens of Mexico is being hurt, and all that type of stuff. And this is going down because it's like it seems like it's always something going on in Mexico, y'all. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. So this the guy right here that's stuck in Mexico, and they got a lot of other United States citizens stuck in the airport too. So they telling them to get to the embassy and all that type of stuff. But let's just check out and see what he going through. I guess he vacationing or he lived there or something. I don't know, man. We finna check it out though.
Car fires. So airport is basically enhanced security measures. We can't leave right now.
Breaking developments tonight on the mayhem
leave.
in Mexico. Cartels carrying out violence in the streets across nearly a dozen states in that country after the Mexican government conducted an operation in an attempt to capture a cartel boss, but instead shot and killed him. Good evening, everybody. I'm Casey Stiegel. Thanks for being here. The violence erupting within close proximity of popular vacation spots like Puerto Vallarta and Guadalajara, prompting the U.S. State Department to issue a rare shelter-in-place order for all Americans in those locations until further notice. Now, a number of North Texans are stuck there. We will hear from them in just a moment. But first, let's bring you up to speed on how we got here. Mexican Army units launched a pre-dawn raid this morning in the western state of Jalisco, targeting the elusive boss of the Jalisco New Generation cartel, known as one of the most dangerous drug networks in all of North America. The goal was to capture Nemesio Aseguera Cervantes, better known as elmencho, alive. U.S. leaders had offered a $15 million reward for his arrest.
They've
but he
been
was
trying to
shot
get
during
him though.
today's operation and died on the way to a hospital. Chaos then ensued. In response, cartel members torched vehicles, they blocked highways, and forced flight cancellations in and around about a dozen western Mexico states. Americans who are now stuck uploading videos to the web from their resorts showing an eerie scene playing out all around them. Fox 4's Vanya Castillo spoke with some people from North Texas who are caught up in all of this and joins us with the fast-moving facts tonight. Hi, Vanya.
Hi, Casey. Yeah, for travelers there tonight, it's waiting minute by minute in a place that used to be a vacation, and now they have no idea what happens next. I spoke to one of those travelers who's trapped in Puerto Vallarta.
We're praying for everyone.
It was supposed to be the end of a fun birthday trip to Puerto Vallarta for TJ Perry, who was scheduled to fly home to Dallas Sunday. Instead,
We started receiving notifications of delayed flights all of a sudden. Basically everything being put on a code red. I think that's the easiest way to kind of understand it, of like a complete lockdown.
with all flights in and out of the state
Well,
canceled,
I'll
he
be
says he
shaking in
went
my
downstairs
boots.
to the front desk.
The manager was saying that there were some things involving the police here, and unfortunately the cartel. And of course, we all have the internet, so we started to Google and try to figure out what was going on.
The Mexican military killed a powerful cartel leader known as elmencho on Sunday.
Yeah, see, hey, man, may the forces be with him, man, because, hey, this is a tough one right here, man, because if you stuck, how would you feel if you were stuck in Mexico, right? You stuck in Mexico, how would you feel at this particular moment when something like this happened? Because when nobody predicted this, and nobody even know what was going on probably. So, you know, hey, man, my condolences to the people who lost their life, man, and hopefully all the United States citizens, man, y'all be safe. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we get y'all out of there, man. But I definitely appreciate y'all coming to check me out. This is going to be an ongoing story, too. So if we get some more updates, we definitely going to tune in, man. But if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, like, and leave me a comment. I'll see y'all on the next video. Let's get it.